What's going on, world? It's Mr. Dreams to Reality, Coach Ford. I'm excited here. I got introduce yourself, and then I'll go into my thing. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name's Paige. I was a student at Justin's for a long time, and now we just work together and make dreams come true.
So, as I was getting ready to say before I got onto the show, is this not cool or what? Right?
Yeah,
Technology
I
is
love
so
this.
cool. It's so cool. And the thing is, I'm actually, me and Brett's getting ready to do a show. I got to fix the light back here. So me and Brett's going to do a show, and then I'm have him on. He's going to do one. We're going to do a mentor thing. But anyway, so everybody's probably wondering what the heck Ford's got going on. What does Paige have to do with anything? Well, Paige sent me a couple of questions a couple of weeks ago, I think, or maybe it was a week. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you think the biggest problem is? Or no, what is the biggest struggle? I got it right here. Let me pull it up. I said, what do you think is the biggest struggle is for youth? Oh, what do you think the biggest struggle for young adults to do with? And he shot me back, money management and motivation. I was like, you know what? With the world of technology, because I was going to do these on Zoom, but I found Riverside App, which
Yeah.
if you decide to do this, I'll send you my affiliate link. So I'm totally got a bunch of things going on, but I'll send you my affiliate link. And I was like, I could do podcast recordings anywhere. This is freaking dope. So I was like, why don't I just have Paige come on and be like, ask Coach Ford type questions? Because she always asks me tough questions, but she asks really
I
good
do.
questions. And here's full disclosure. So we're actually going to start up the Minnesota Sports Network. That got too crazy. But this is so much easier to do because we could just get on the app and just have conversations. I still want to do the Minnesota Sports Network, but that's not what we're here for. So Paige is going to be the hostess with the mostest, right? She is going to have the questions to ask me. It'll be a conversation style. Really don't know how this is going to go, but I wanted to do something totally different than me on the camera all the time. And so I think this is a good space for not only for your portfolio to build like, hey, when people's like, we need a podcast. You're like, oh, that's cool. I have to do this with my crazy old coach, and he makes me be his host for some of his episodes. So Paige has been on the ground floor with all my crazies, and it's starting to come to fruition.
Hmm.
And so she's going to have all the questions, and we will figure it out. We will figure out how this is going to work. I actually got to redo my YouTube thumbnail for this because we got to get Paige's face on the YouTube. But so as of right now, this is Ask Coach Ford with your host, Paige Ames, and Paige is your host. So I'm going to let you take over. And I don't even know which questions she's going to ask. I just want y'all to know, just do your job. So book comes out 5/5/24, but Paige is going to be asking questions. I don't know what questions she's going to ask. And as we figure it out, we'll see if I have some tough ones. So go ahead, get started, Paige, whenever you're ready.
This is just okay. So I'm 22 years old. I'm very new to adulthood, and I've come and hit some roadblocks. And I think Justin's a very good person to answer these types of questions. He's been through it. He's been inside. He's been on both sides. So I wrote down a couple things. So we're just going to see what he can come up with. First thing, and I think he's going to have a good one to this, is financial literacy. He's always talking about knowledge and get books and reading and writing and making sure you know as much as you can possibly know. So I want to know, do you have any financial literacy books or how you gained your knowledge in the financial world that would be helpful to somebody my age starting out brand new?
That is actually a really good question. It's not. I didn't know what I was going to be asked. So,
I had to
um,
stump you.
that was good. No, if I go back to 22, it's a fun time. So I would tell you enjoy 22. But what's better than 22 is being 32 and knowing what you didn't know at 22. And the thing that unless you get around people who really understand financial literacy, which I'm just now coming into this, so I'm not going to act like I have it all figured out. Um, but in terms of financial literacy and books, I have a slew of books, and I'm trying to see if I have it up here.
I actually got you propped up on my bookshelf right now. It's kind of crazy.
So I don't know if I have the book, but here's a really good one. If I would start with, if I'm mentoring you right now, is Rich Dad Poor Dad. That would be the first one, and I don't know where my second book is. And it's I would teach you how to be rich
Hmm. We
by
talked about that one a little
Ramit
bit.
Seheith, um, and then Think and Grow Rich. So those would be the three. But if I were to start you off with the basic understanding, which would be Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then I would teach you how to be rich by Ramit Seheith. I'm a big fan of all those, and here's why. At 22, you're just trying to figure it out. You're trying to get your grounding. Uh, you're probably fresh out of college. People aren't going to take you as serious as job markets, job placements. Now, depending on where you're at, it's so different. When I was 22, I had to get it. I had my firstborn. She was 2 years old, so I really didn't have a choice, right? So it was
Yeah.
get it, do it or die. Not literally die, but I was working at Applebee's and I was getting ton of cash. And then I went and worked at AT&T. The biggest thing that I would tell you at 22 is develop a plan. And what do I mean by plan? You got to know what you want for your life. And don't just let society tell you, hey, these are all things you should be doing. No, get real refined on what is the things that you want for your life. So, for example, when I was 22, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? I knew I wanted to coach basketball. What I didn't know was the stock market. What I didn't know was financial literacy. What I didn't know was a side hustle. And I was side hustling, but I didn't understand how to take those assets. I didn't understand assets. And so here, as you grow and develop, this is Boss Moves by Myron Golden. It's a really good book, but it took me 10 years and longer than that to really understand, okay, what am I going to do? Say, Jim Rohn is a good one to listen to, right? So I listen to a ton of podcasts. I listen to, man, there's so many different guys, and I'm on the spot, so I can't think of all of them. But I would say 10% go to causes that you love, right? And you'll hear that
Right.
across the board. Um, 10% goes to like your savings investment, and I could be wrong, don't hold me to it. And then another 10% goes to your capital investments or whatever. It just depends on what you're into. Like you have to go find out the thing that works for you. If you're looking at how to teach you how to be rich, his game plan is allocate 10% or 20% to the things that you want in your life. So I would say, what is that 22-year-old's goals? Like, what are your goals in perspective? If that's what you want to do. For me, I want to be a multimillionaire. So, I'm going to allocate 10% to foundations that are really near to my heart, right? Christian education, community work programs. So, and then my mentoring program, 10% is going to go to that. And then another 10% is going to go to active capital and investment. So my terminology's changed from 22. At 22 and 23, I was just trying to get diapers. I was
Yeah.
trying to pay the electric bill. I was trying to pay rent. And not that I'm still not hustling that. It's just that now I'm an entrepreneur and I'm like, okay, the sky's the limit. I mean, I still do my day career and all that stuff. But in terms of where I plan to go and being an entrepreneur, I wasn't talking about assets 10 years ago. I didn't even know what asset was. I was just like, I'm out here hustling, man. That's the only language that you know. So for 22-year-old, this is what they have. You have time. And the thing that you have time is get real clear on what you want. And it's hard to know what you want because 22 is that weird stage where it's like, I'm free to do what I want. I don't have to listen to my parents. I don't have to work if I don't want to. Well, the problem is you're like, well, I want things. I want to buy things. I want the new phone. I want a
Yeah.
new car. I want all these things. Your parents like, well, you're grown, right? Remember when you told us that? So go figure out how you're going to do this on your own. And so I
Oh
would
yeah.
recommend every 22-year-old to start a business, start content development. Uh, I would say get mentors. The first thing I would recommend you is get mentor, and then get real clear on the things that you want. Right, like if in 10 years you want to get married and have kids, and you should probably start planning that out now, right? Or if you know that you're going to start a business while you don't have any kids or family, start allocating percentage of your check to whatever your expenses are, right? So here's a good time to do budgeting, right? So
Yeah.
what is your budget, right? What are your month to month expenses? So now you got me really thinking about this. What are your month to month expenses? So you got your car note, you got your rent, you got your insurance, you got your cell phone, and you got your streaming services, then you got your like Apple, Netflix, whatever, right? So you want to compartmentalize that and say, okay, these are things that are necessity to my life, internet, right? And then these are the things I want. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to go to Costa Rica. You like to travel, right? So you want to build that into
Mm.
your ideal life plan. and say, and some people are going to be like, oh my gosh, no, that's not what you do. Listen, it's your life, right? And I'm a big proponent of you live the life that you want to live, not the life that somebody else is telling you to live because that's the life they want to live, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to live your life. You want to live your life, and you like to travel. My wife likes to travel, right? So I have to make a ton of money so she can travel, right? Not because I want to travel. Now I'll travel because I have to, and I have to build a big enough business. So when I hire you, you want to go travel, and you're going to host a podcast from Mexico or Mexicano or whatever, however you want to use it, right? Or do one
Yeah.
of those things. So, and that's the biggest thing. Find out what you want. I think the 22-year-olds got to get real clear on who they are as an individual, and that's really hard because I just had a conversation with another 20-year-old, like finding out what their purpose is. It's real simple. It's like help other people. If you don't have a purpose, go find somebody to help. Go find a cause. Go to a dog shelter. Go to a homeless shelter or something, and then that will give you some clarity. But yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, not gonna lie, you just answered like five of my questions.
Well, ask him anyway. I can probably expand on some of it. So
I knew better because I prepared for this. I knew this was gonna happen. Another thing tying into all that, understanding what you're paying for, like taxes, insurances, loans. Like, I feel like a lot of people my age don't really understand why they're paying for it or what it even is that their money's going to. So, I guess what I'm trying to ask is like ways that I can understand that. Should I do classes? Should I read books? Should I, what, like, how do you learn from that? Mentor, like you said. How did you learn from that?
Uh, books, mentors, taxes. You got to pay the goose that lays the golden egg. I didn't say that. Jim Rohn said Napoleon Hill. Now I'm going to go to my books, right? So everything I'm going to reference is a book. And either Jim Rohn or Napoleon Hill said it. You got to pay the goose that lays the golden egg. And what does that mean? So you got to pay Caesar, right? And that's all. And you can go dig that into biblical perspectives if you want. But here's what you're paying for: the roads that you drive every single day, the infrastructure of the country, the technology, the access to um, the U.S. military, uh, government programs, government initiatives. Essentially, every country is a business, right? So I want you to think in terms of insurance. The entire country is an insurance entity. If you think of it in terms of everybody has to pay in order to enjoy the life that you live in, right? And so the infrastructure cannot be ran on zero. So sure, is the tax system what it is? I mean, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not a tax expert, so I'm not going to touch into that. But just kind of explain, like, the taxes go to the schools and the police stations and the the ambulance districts and all those different things, right? So if you look at your taxes at the end of the year when you get that mortgage statement or you get that personal property tax, it actually details and outlines where your taxes goes to. Some goes to your public school system. And so you got sales tax, there's all those things that you're paying on. So the question is, can you live your life on zero? And the opportunity that we live in a capitalistic society, I'm happy to do that, right? Because it gives me the afford an opportunity to pursue this dream and goal of mine, which is I want to be a multimillionaire. I actually want to be a billionaire, but it takes some luck to become a billionaire. So, in order to talk like this, you got to be in the country and you got to pay the people that allows you the opportunity to do that. And so that's the opportunity that we're given. And that's a beautiful question. So insurance is the same thing. Like I was saying, think of it this way: how much would it be to replace your home? How much would it be to replace your vehicle? And so insurance is to make you whole. Insurance isn't to like replace. Insurance is to make you whole. So I used to actually do insurance sales for American Family. Um, and so insurance is good, man. I mean, people have their feelings about it. I'm not here to have that debate. That could be for the internet trolls and the people that want to come say the day. I'm not here to say the day. You just asking a question, and that's what it is. It is what it is. And so there's more important things to hang up on than the insurance. But yeah, you're paying to make your life right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a zero sum game. You got to pay in. So what was the other part of that question? I got the insurance and infrastructure and taxes.
I said life insurance, retirement plans. I feel like
So
this is all
so
just stuff that I learned too late in life or later than I should have, and I should have been more
no no
prepared
you
sooner.
learned it. You're learning in the right time because you're asking the right questions, and this is going to help a lot of 22-year-olds learn this right now. Get life insurance immediately. Start planning your estate now because you're not promised tomorrow. None of us is. So I have 3 or 4 life insurance policies set up, right? Because I understand that um, anything can happen to me, and as being an entrepreneur, you got to have a succession plan. You got to have an exit strategy, and so my succession plan is what happens to me in my demise, my family has policies in place where they don't have to worry about, oh, okay, we're because they're gonna need a couple of years to or longer to recoup from that. But like, there's gonna be a lot of people that's like, oh man, this dude's gone. So I'm aware of that. You know, I'm aware that my time is ending, and I'm aware that there's a lot of people that be impacted by my demise, and that's why I have to get it as quickly as possible as I can. As far as retirement savings, it's interesting you asked that. I'm not going to go into this into too deep. Uh, because there's better experts out there to explain this. So I'm not an expert in terms of this, but I would tell you, find a vehicle that makes sense to you, buy stocks, get into, uh, there's tons of options out there about stocks, and there's experts in there that actually have a plan. If you're young, start put back $100, $200 into a retirement plan. I wouldn't necessarily say retirement plan. You want to do an IRA, but get with a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just asking questions. I'm mentoring somebody. So chill. There's tons of financial advisors. So the government don't be like, oh, we need to talk to you, Coach Ford, because you told this young lady that. Yeah. So full disclosure, I'm not a financial expert. There's tons of resources, and so there's tons of people that can answer those questions. So I'm just trying not to get dinged by the U.S. government. So yeah, we
This is
don't
how we
bypass
learn.
that question. We don't bypass the retirement question because I could get on the soapbox, and I don't want Uncle Sam come to knock on my door. All right, so yeah.
I actually
Life
only
insurance,
asked
but get life insurance while you're young, though. The younger, the better.
actually
So you're 22, you need to get it now.
I actually only asked that because I now qualify for that at my job. So I
Yeah,
was
you need
getting
to
ready to
get it.
do that, and I was like, maybe I'll ask him. But
Yeah, you
another thing you touched on was investing. This is something that I myself am actually really curious in because to me, I know so little about it. So I'm like, do the risks outweigh the benefits? What should I do? Should I try it? How do I even start doing that? And I want to talk to you because I know you have more experience in that than I do. But it's something I'm interested in trying.
Yeah, that's a good question. Without a doubt, you need to just try your hand in it, right? I can send you a link to Acorns, uh, but get with Vanguard. Get with there's so many of them out here. Vanguard is a good one. Um, Fidelity. There's tons of them. I wouldn't do any. I mean, you can do some of the cash app options if you one of those type of people. You can do the Robin Hoods. You can do those. All those are great. Maybe start with Robin Hood because it's more trendy and boppy for people your age. Um, but as far as that, I know some great financial people that I can hook you up with. So that we gladly talk to you about these things. But really, you could put it in. I mean, you could get. I'm trying to remember what my portfolio is. I have a portfolio. And I took it out to start my e-commerce store. So I'll send you that, but you can buy stocks on your own. You can buy individual stocks. I mean, there's great individual stocks right now. You just have to study it. I'm just not in the market with that right now because
Yeah.
I'm focusing on my e-commerce and I got to get that up. So that's my investment vehicle for me. So, right. So like, let's talk about this, right? From a business perspective, once I get in a position to get my wealth accumulated, that's the next direction I'm going to have my money making money, not me working for money. It's my money turns $3 into four. So say like for example, I got this hat on, right? So this hat is $30. I take the profits from the hat and then I invest it back into the business. Eventually, once the Ford media blows up and everything blows up and we have all those ad revenues coming in, then I'll take the like my money that I get from the company, that I get paid from the company, and move it into a retirement plan, right? And not necessarily a retirement plan, but to my RA. And there's like, I'm going to take $250 and I'm going to invest into, crap. I got the strategy, but don't hold me to it. But that's a really good question. I'm trying to be real careful because if you say any of the wrong things, this is not financial advice. So for all you slick Rick people at home, this is not financial advice. I'm just a basketball coach that's trying to figure it out too. I don't know financial advice, but off the camera, I'll send you some stuff off the camera because the government people and them people would be flagging me, and I ain't got time for YouTube. I'm trying to get the YouTube check, so that's why we on here. YouTube, yours, me and Paige, we need a YouTube check. This show gonna be one of the hottest shows on the internet. I need a YouTube check from YouTube, and then we're gonna split it. But yeah. So I'll send you some stuff. I just can't say it because the government and all these financial people. I don't want them bragging because I said the wrong stuff. So
I didn't even think about monetizing whatever's.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm on that. Yeah, we about to. Yeah, I'm telling
I
you.
didn't think of any of that. This is so new to me.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you think I'm paying my infrastructure? So I'll tell you right now, my infrastructure is like $300, $400 right now. That's just getting started. And
Whew.
I probably invested probably 2 or 3K just to get the party started. But it's all good. It's all going to come back to me. So like we got these. Yeah, I'll give you the game. I'm on it. I'm telling you. You see, I sent you you got the shorts and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
them. I wear them all the time, actually.
yeah. Paige got the shorts and the leggings. Y'all go on coach4x.com, the Ford X store. Go cop y'all some gear. But yeah, what's the next question?
So now I want to switch it over. Our next topic was motivation and how,
Yeah,
and
there we
mentality
go.
and all how that ties into it, which I know I figured you'd be more excited about this one, so I saved it for last. But you specifically are a very big mentality guy. How do you like deal with your hardships and keep your mentality in check and be motivated and consistent and all that after, what seems like a few hardships in a row? How do you know you want to keep doing this and this is what you want to do in life?
Yeah, now we talking Coach Ford talk. Now we talking Coach
Yeah.
Ford talk. This this here, we have a vision and purpose, right? And so, uh, it changes as you get older. You notice that it's changed. If you've seen me in the last 6 years, there's been a drastic change in my coaching approach. There's a drastic change in how I do business. There's a drastic change from me 6, 7 months ago, and that's part of this. That's part of making a commitment to um, feeding your brain, right? So my entire bookshelf is filled with documents because I don't know nothing. I don't know enough to sit up here and act like I got it figured out. And because I take that mentality, I'm asking, what is the lesson that is teaching me? So when you grew up the way that I grew up, no parents, my father died the month before I was born, my mother died when I was 3. It's very hard as an adult to deal with anything that's really as hard and traumatizing as that because I grew up in a world where it's like, man, you got parents, dog. What you crying about over there? You go home and get tucked in by your I'm going over here, man. I may not even have a bed to sleep in. So, yeah, my life is different. So, for me as an adult, my life is great compared to that, right? So, um, and that motivates me. That motivates me to never go back to that place where I feel like I'm not in control. Now, I'm not in control. God's only in control. God's sovereign rule in my life, but He gives me this assignment to be great. And so, a couple years ago, I just told you I'm just motivated to be the best. I'm just motivated to prove people wrong. Now I'm motivated to do the things right. Now I'm motivated to be the best I can be. I'm motivated to build an infrastructure and a company that employs and hires people like you and develop 18 people. And then all of us come together and do big things. So to answer your question, your purpose and why has got to be bigger than the adversity. And whenever you deal with those people, you got to have 4 things in your corner. If you don't have these 4 things, and I was blessed and fortunate to have these 4 things, you got to have a team, you got to have a coach, you got a mentor, you got to have a trainer. You got to have those 4 things. Now, you don't necessarily have to have a trainer until you get to the level of mental to where you need a trainer to teach you the skills, right? So the mentor is going to help you, guide you through. The coach is going to give you the game plan. Someone was asking me about the financial stuff. What I would tell you is you need to look at your financial numbers. If I was coaching on this and say, how much am I making at my job? How much do I want to work? And then I would tell you to get an affiliate program like we're doing with the Ford X store, right? And then you need to supplement your income because you need to be figuring out how much is the life that I want to live really going to cost me. And so it's important that you're a part of those type of programs. And so the Riverside app, I can get an affiliate program with that. TubeBuddy, I can get an affiliate program with that. YouTube, once this channel pops off, I get monetized with that. And then Facebook is paying me a check. And so then my website, my website's brand new. And so I'm building a brand up. So the most important thing is understanding that uh, when you're prepared for things, there's no difficulty because you're already trained in your mind. And so middle training, positive self-talk, looking at what the lesson is, internalize it. The thing is that lesson is only for a moment. And if people wouldn't allow it to control their emotions, so I'm not about allowing situations to control my emotions. This year basketball season, I had to start the whole season over with all new guys. My best player tore his ACL. What do you think I sat around and cried about? I was like, hey, this is it. Y'all have to figure it out because it's gonna be a long year for us. We got to settle in. We got to buckle up. We got to get this. We got to do this thing. And so My grandma died a couple years ago, and so when she died, that was really kind of the tip point of like, hey, if I survive this, there is nothing that I can't survive. And I'm not saying it in a heartless way. I'm telling you in a way that you have to prepare yourself for the thing that life is going to throw at you. Because if you don't prepare yourself for it and you don't handle it and you don't deal with it head on, then you're going to struggle. Like you'll always be in a place of despair. You'll always be in a place of uh, depression and all those things. And those things are very real. Mental health is very real. So I won't touch on that because I don't want YouTube taking down my channel and all these health people. Uh, but those things are important to be able to have some resiliency. And then it's important to have a coach like me that says, "Hey, man, we got some work to do. It's time to step it up. It's time to do your job, right?" And if you understand what that means, you understand that it's your number one responsibility, no matter what the circumstance, to be the best person that you can be. And if those people that you love left this earth and you said you loved them, then you would take that to heart and say, "I got to be the best person I can be within not here or here." When life throws you curveballs, that's why preparation is important. So most people, the thing that hurts people is not, and I got this from Eric Thomas. And so you want to talk about people who I listen to: Eric Thomas, David Shantz, Myron Golden, Malcolm Went. Now you got me talking. I got a whole list of people on my wall back here that I got written down that I listen to. But Eric Thomas said it wasn't the event that broke you; it's the unpreparedness that broke you. It's the unpreparedness when you step onto the basketball court and you didn't practice in the off season, but you expect me to save you. Don't look over here at me. I can't save you now. The tip off is here. Your time to prepare was in the off season, and it's too late now. And so, because it's too late, I can't save you. Yeah, you go take that, whatever that opponent gonna give you. You go take it. And so that's how that translates to life too. So as a 22-year-old, if you're not prepared, you better be prepared for what life is going to give you. But if you take this advice and you take these lessons I'm teaching you in terms of being prepared, like understand, okay, what do I want from my life? What is my financial circumstance? Say you make $3,000 a month, right? And you have 1,800 in expenses. So now you have, I need my whiteboard. So now I wish I was on my whiteboard so I can actually draw this out. So now you have 1,200 discretionary income. What are you doing with that 1,200? You shouldn't be, well, I don't know what happened to that 1,200 discretionary income over 12 months. So do the math, right? So 12 months of discretionary income. I'm going to pull up my Excel sheet because now you got me in business mode. Now you got me thinking in business terms. Hold on. All right. So let's do this math here real quick. Come on, pull up Google Sheets. So we got 1,200. So we do 12. So all the people at home, all the slick people, so they be like, "Oh, his math off." Yeah, I know. I'm pulling up a calculator so y'all can chill out. Okay. So that's $14,000, right? So what'd you do with that $14,000? That's money you can invest in property. That's money you can invest in the stock market. That's money you can invest in insurance. There's all kinds of things you do that. You take that money and start working towards building a business or a side hustle or an e-commerce store or something that's going to help generate that money. So the goal should be take that $14,000 and double and triple it and then double up. Right. And so you want to take that 14,000 and turn it 28,000. You got to figure out how you take that 28,000 and make it 56,000. You take that 56,000 and you turn it to 112,000. You take that 112,000, you turn 224,000, and then you double up and triple up and flip up the money. And so, yeah, people at home, are you doing that? Not yet, but I already told you what I'm on. I told you what time I'm on. I told you I'm on multi-millionaire time. And so you got to take that money, you got to let that money work for you. And so if you don't take that money and let it work for you, of course you're going to be down in despair. And that's what I understood at an early time, but I didn't understand how to put it together. And so the motivation is when at my stage now is now that I understand this information, I couldn't be you and understand what he was saying in this book about customer lead generation, customer conversion, customer sensitive. I understood the components of it, but I didn't understand what it meant to be a business person. So my motivation changes. Like I'm not motivated anymore. I have habits formed. And so when you start forming habits, motivation is a byproduct. It's just a stepping stone. Inspiration is a stepping stone. When those habits become embedded and ingrained into your being, that's when things change. So like we were talking about earlier on this infrastructure, right? So this infrastructure has been developed. We're talking about Riverside, YouTube. I gave you an entire blueprint game plan that I didn't have 6, 7 months ago. Why? Because I made a commitment. I made a commitment to myself, to my family, to the future of Ford Media, to the future of people that's going to be working within the company, and that where I'm going to be. I said I'm going to be a multimillionaire. And guess what? That requires discipline and habits at a high level. That motivation, inspiration is going to get you because motivation, inspiration is going to fade away. So it's got to become something deep down within you that drives you to be better. But yeah, that was a great question. So I'm gonna have to get off my soapbox before I speak on that for too much longer. But yeah, that's what I would tell you.
Again, answering all my questions here. Oh, gosh. Gonna go down the list now. Okay, so something that I myself have struggled with is keeping a consistent schedule. I want to know, like, what are the benefits of keeping a routine? Is there more benefits than there's not, and just being like, hey, I'm gonna wing it, and I'm gonna do what I do that day, and that's gonna be my day? Or should I try and be consistent every day? Oh my God, my dog's trying to make an
That's all right.
appearance.
Your dog wants an appearance. Tell him, come on. He's
You
like,
want to
I
feature?
want, yeah, he wants a feature. Get him in there. So to answer the question, yeah, let him in there. That's funny. To answer the question, um, the best way I can answer your question is I was a professional wing it type of person. But the level of success that I want to, I'm not going to be able to wing it no more. I'm a millionaire. I'm a multimillionaire that's in walking. And in order to get there, I have to have a high level of discipline. At your age group, you're still trying to figure it out. So it's day by day. But for me, it's a very clear focus. By us creating a schedule, your mind now shifts to, oh, I got to be on the call at 8 p.m. We got to have more content. We got to develop more. We got to deliver more. And you'll review the film and you'll get better. And then your mind's going to shift because you're like, hey, you want to go out on Wednesday at 8? You're like, no, I got to go. I'm a host. Like, I got some responsibilities, and we're really doing this. This is going live on the internet. And after I get done editing in 20, 30 minutes. And so understanding that success is in a routine, I'm going to tell you that's from Eric Thomas. You get up every single morning and brush your teeth, right? Well, I hope. Get up every day and take a shower, right? Well, I hope, right? So why do we take our finances and our livelihoods with wishes and prayers? Is what I would tell you. And I was like that. I was a wisher and prayer, hoping that the thing that worked out for me is God gave me the ability that most people don't have. I can do that and still make it. Not everybody is talented and skilled like I am to do that and wing it and still be able to perform at a high level. I asked myself, what will I be if I'm ultra focused and intentional with my gifts and talent God has given me? And look at what's happened. Look at where we're here now. And so I'm speaking from the future. I'm speaking from the person that God has created me to be. And so I didn't know how this conversation was going to go. But obviously, being prepped and prepared with the information, it tells you the difference in my speech. And so for the person listening at home, this is what hours of practice give you. So I've been on YouTube practicing. I've been doing YouTube shorts for hours. I've been practicing studying YouTube. I have an affiliate program with TubeBuddy. So for anybody get on my links, I got TubeBuddy. I got Riverside affiliates. So I'm investing in the infrastructure. I studied on Wix all day today, understanding Wix with the new program I'm downloading. And so for you as a 22-year-old, as your purpose gets more refined, then the why of why you want a routine gets important because you want to control the controllables. You don't want your day disturbed and interrupted. I get up at 5 a.m. and work out every morning because I didn't like the way my clothes fit. I didn't like being rushed at the end of the day. So now I might have to get up at 4 a.m. just so I can get that additional hour. And so it's important for me in order to have the success that I want, I got to get disciplined because I still work my career and my day job. I still got to be up and perform there too. And so your mind starts to shift to focus. And if you want high levels of success, if you want to be a business owner, you got to have some type of routine. I'm not saying get up at 5 a.m., but if you work a job from 8 to 5, it's going to be real hard unless you're going to have the energy to do the work from 5 to 9, right? And so you know how it is when you get off work, 5 to 9, it's kind of, so for me, it's easier to get up at 5 a.m. and produce content and study and read and do my exercises than it is to try doing that once the night shift in, because once the night shift goes, I'm in practice mode. I got to go spend time with family. So that 4 or 5 a.m. is important to me. That's not for everybody though. That may be different for you. Your time may be 6 a.m., right? For me, it's 5 because I got to get my kids up at 6:30. So if I get up at 6, I got 30 minutes to tussle with. I still got to brush my teeth, exercise, and do all my other stuff. That's not enough time to do nothing. So yeah, my speech has changed. My focus has changed and I'm more refined. So as you get older and you get more wide, like this will change your focus here. You're going to be like, oh, we got to do more of these. I got to get refined. I got to get on the schedule. You're going to be on me about content. You're going to be like, hey, we got to be getting this thing going, right? And so that shifts your focus. But here's why it shifts your focus. Being around a high achiever, being around a high performer, that shifts your focus. So people in my circle are multimillionaires. I talked to a dude 2 weeks ago that said he wants to be a billionaire. And I let that sink in. He said he wants to be a billionaire. I told him I want to be a billionaire. So we got two people that want to be a billionaire. So I'm motivated by a different level of conversation. than a normal person. I'm motivated in love conversation than you. You know, this is going to be fun for you. This is fun for me. But at the other side, I got to be the business guy. And so, yeah, this is fun. I love it. Good question.
You're answering all my questions. That was literally my next question. How important is an inner circle? How do they like affect you, motivate you? Who should be in that circle? And I know we've talked about this quite in depth, but I want everybody else to hear it, your take.
Yeah, so you know my big brother Lemmy, you know who he is, and
I
so
do.
I won't put any of my other people names on Front Street. Lemmy cool, he know he told me to drop him, but my other people, I won't drop their names like that without their permission. I didn't get a chance to ask them for permission, but me and Lemmy recorded shows together, so we had these in-depth talks. You know, your inner circle is important. Getting around people that's gonna pump you up and say, "Hey, the finish line is closer than it's ever been," is important, and getting around people that's going to motivate you to be the best version of yourself is highly important. It's highly motivating to be around other people that says, "I'm going to be a billionaire. What you going to do to catch up?" And I'm behind these people. These are people that already made multi-million dollars. I'm working to get that. I am there. All that's got to happen now is my refinement and focus to doing the thing. And so if you're in the circle of people that says, why you want to do that? Why you want to go be a multimillionaire? Why you want to make it? Why you want to be a billionaire? Why you want to do this? You think you're going to get on the internet and do all this, woo, 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 and just be like, man, you know how much money they're paying people on the net for good quality content? Like, this is an organic conversation. And so they're seeing the rise of a multi-million dollar company, which is Ford X Media. They're seeing the rise of the next whatever host you're going to be of the next talk show on Ford X Media. And so because Hollywood and all these other places, they've changed the game. But what's changed the game is when Steve Jobs dropped his iPhone back in 2007. And so Steve Jobs talks about having 18 players on your team, and it's important to have 18 players. So if your inner circle is 18 people, then guess what? You have to be an 18 person, or those people don't hang out to. You can't talk the same conversation with those people. So it's really hard to have conversations with people who don't want to be 18 players. And if you don't want to live in wealth and abundance, it's going to be hard to have a conversation with me because I'm looking at my board and I got $100 million written down all over the place, right? And so I've already talked to people who already accomplished that. And so, yeah, it's just a different walk of life. And so it disturbs people, right? Because it's a reflection of you. What I'm doing is a reflection of who I was 6 months ago. And because I blew past that person, it makes people uncomfortable. Not that I'm trying to be any type of way. I just think differently than I was 6 months ago. 6 months, I was just going off passion and fires. Now I'm going off fuel for the mission. And so I started attracting higher level people in my circle. And those people root for you. Them people are excited for you. They don't try to pull you down. You know, people are like, yeah, let's lift this guy up. Let's see what he can do. We love what he's doing. We keep rooting you on. You may not have the $1 million physically yet, but you're a millionaire because you're thinking like one. And that's the difference. That's why you want to get in these conversations with these people in these books. Yeah, you got to get in conversations with people in the books. You don't get in conversations with the people in the books. You are what you feed your brain. How do you feed your brain? Here, look, right here, this whole notebook. Check this out. I'm finna get out the whole game. My notebook. Look at this. How many notes you see? Notes, 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 notes on my backside of my wall, notes on my whiteboard. So I'm always having conversations. And I'm always studying. I'm a student of the game. I'm a student at best. So, yeah, sorry, yeah, answer the question. Yeah, but it's important.
Answered about 5 questions. I knew I should have over prepared. Oh
So,
gosh,
yeah,
let's see.
you'll know for next time.
But I mean, we got 40 minutes out of this, so that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
so that's good. That's actually really good. Most people be like, "Oh my gosh, this should have been part two." But we'll look
Ah,
back on this. We'll look back on this. This is just the start. And whenever I
yeah.
envision Ford X Media, I envision this right now. Think about it. I already told you about Ford X Media. I was lining out this vision months ago. I just wasn't prepared to receive the information. So imagine if we had this technology when we were talking about Minute Sports Center, and we could send the link to the athletes, and we could just have all round table conversation. Now these are things we can do. Now we've built the infrastructure. Now I've got the infrastructure in place. Now these people and these ads people, these companies and corporations got to send us a check because this is just the start. 4X Media is about to take over. And what you're going to see is people
Hmm.
are going to duplicate this process. People are going to duplicate. They watching in the lurking in the closet. Me and Lemmy talk about this all the time. They watching me. They lurking. They wonder why you on the camera. Don't worry about why she on the camera. She the host. Yeah, that's why we making moves around here, and people
Amen.
don't like that. They don't like you talking like that. Why? Because people on the bottom don't like that. People on top love it because it's different. It's motivating for them when they see you doing it. Like, oh yeah, let's keep going because they know how hard it is to climb to the top of that mountain and touch that mill. And so I'm talking about touching 100 on them things. So yeah, but they said making the first mill is the hardest.
That, and you don't see anybody really around here doing what you're doing, how you're doing it, offering what you're offering now. And I think that's kind of awesome because this is something totally new to everybody and us too. Like, this is a brand new deal, and I think it's going to attract a lot of attention.
Yeah, it's already attracting attention because whenever you choose to step out into your greatness, that's why I wrote the book, Just Do Your Job. I didn't write that book for me. I could have been cool sitting at home playing Call of Duty. I love playing Call of Duty. Yeah, that dog, no, he wants his shine too. He wants his shine too. Yeah, he said, I want my minutes. He wants his minutes on. Yeah, he wants his YouTube check too. I got you, dog. He gonna make the views and ratings go off. He wants his YouTube check too. Yeah, that's how you get the people in here. They gonna clock for the dog. We're gonna put special guest appearance by doggy. They want that check.
He's pretty
Um,
cute.
yeah. But understanding that, yeah, he wants a check too. You know what time it is? It's a capitalistic society. I don't blame him. He said, "Give me
You
my
say
dog
two
tree
of them
now."
come down here now.
Yeah, they know they want that dog tree. They want their check too. They want a YouTube check. So what I'm doing is, uh, people are watching me now. People are wondering. They're intrigued by what I'm doing. I'm just doing what other people do. I'm just and I'll have to say this for another podcast because I can go on this for 2 or 3 hours on this topic. But when God gives you a vision and He calls you to do something great, you got to follow it. So you've been around me for 6 years. I've never talked like this. I haven't looked at my YouTube count. This is the most content I produce, and I'm doing this out of obedience to what God has showed me. I could be at home playing Call of Duty right now. I could spend 45 minutes on COD, and that ain't a problem. Yeah, I would love to be doing that right now. I didn't have to write the book. The book wasn't for me. The book was for people like you that says it's possible, and for the next generation of people that's going to come through and say it's possible for me to do it. How do you do it? I say it's real simple. You just got to have something to talk about. You got to write something that the people in the world wants to read about. And if you do that, then these things are possible. Um, so yeah, that's just all there is to it. I'm just trying to be something that nobody thought I could be, and that's what's real motivating for me is that when people be like, "You're really doing it," yeah, I'm really doing it. I've already stepped into my greatness, and I've always been great like this. I just had to step back into it. That's why I get up at 5 a.m. to work out. And here's my ultimate vision. My vision is to empower the generation of athletes through the power of mentorship and pushing excellence on off the court. I haven't always been good at that, but I'm being real intentional about being good at that. And then my next goal is to help aspiring entrepreneurs develop an elite mentality so when they step into this realm, they're ready to go. But now it looks like I'm actually going to be helping young people your age, 22 years old, 23 years old, helping them out. And I wasn't expecting that, but that's what God has called and planned to do. That has nothing to do with me. So good question.
We need it.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. That's why I told you to ask the questions, right? And so all y'all ask Paige the questions. We're gonna get her a page at fordxmedia.com thing. And don't email me no nothing. Email the host. I ain't answering no more emails. Yeah. I'm being serious. But yeah, next question. That's good.
I think,
Is
okay,
that
now
it?
I'm
We wrapping
just,
up?
well, I wanted to touch one more thing. Not
Okay.
a lot of people, hardly anybody have your drive and your motivation. Like, that is just you and who you are.
Yeah.
People like me, we gotta work for that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just want you to explain that. I know you said you came from harder times, but for people like me who don't really, I just want you to like explain, I don't know, how do you get there? What keeps you that way? I know we already touched it at the beginning, but this is going to bring so much attention. Like that people don't really realize yet how big this is really going to be. We get the vision. We've been behind the scenes. We've seen it all. But for the people that haven't seen it, what should we expect? Like, just give me everything. I know I just asked like three questions, but
Yeah. No,
just
that's
give me
cool. That's a good
everything.
question. So, um, we'll have to add this onto the other episodes, so we don't have to rush the content on this, but I will answer all three of the questions. Um, my vision is to build an organic media company, and I'm going to cultivate talented people. I'm not going to discuss what me and my big brother Lemmy talked about. That I'm going to save for the come up on 2024. Y'all going to have to check that podcast show out with me and Lemmy. drop that. And but this is just part of that vision. And so he does a better job of explaining who I was becoming before I was this person. He go listen to our podcast when we first started this 10 months ago, and then he told me this back in 2013 who the individual I was going to be. And so I'm just living out what he told me I was going to be, and that's why it's important to have people around you. To answer your question on how big it's going to be, it's going to be a multi-million-dollar company. It's going to be because think about it. Content creation is still in its infancy. Podcasting is still in its infancy. What I'm doing here is still in its infancy. So the market is not saturated. The world is abundant, and here's why the world is abundant. People like me saying we can do that too, and then me not being afraid to invest in the infrastructure. I think a lot of people are afraid to invest in the infrastructure. But I'm gonna do the 50 Cent, get rich or die trying. And so I'm trying to be the next 50 Cent, and that's the only name I'll drop in this because I'm not gonna talk about the other name because I want to talk about that with my big bro on our episode. But yeah, I have a vision, and it's possible, and it's gonna be some hard times. So we talk about hard times are coming. I know hard times are coming, but you don't look at winter. You look at winter. You look at summer in the wintertime, and you look at winter in the summertime, right? And that's how the ant prepares. The ant prepares for the winter when the winter is time. So they plant when it's harvest time, and so when it's not harvest time, you don't dig up the seeds. Right now, we putting the seeds in the ground, and it's not harvest time. Then when we do harvest, guess what? We'll go back and put it back in the harvest. So I can tell you, there's a harvest is coming. That's the best way I could put it. And right now, the season is not summer. The season is winter. Right now, it just feels like summer because of what I'm doing, but it's not. It's winter. And for the people at home who's smart, they get that. But when summertime comes, it's gonna be fun, right? And so it's not harvest time, and I know people are gonna be like, it's springtime. Yeah, I get it. It's springtime. Golly, man, y'all some
Metaphors,
literal people,
metaphors.
right? But to answer your question about how you stay motivated, what's your purpose? This gives you a newfound purpose. It drives you, motivates you, excites you. It gives you energy. It gives you something to look forward to because instead of watching other people in the game, now you're in the game. Now you'll run this back for an hour and be like, okay, what questions can I ask? How can we make the show better? For me, I'm naturally doing these things, right? So for me, it's just I'm a driver. I drive until I get results, and I haven't been getting the results in my life that I wanted to see. And so that's the motivation for me is to attain this multi-million-dollar deal, to attain $1 million, and to there's some things that I want to do. I have a heart for Christian education. I have a heart for community programming. And so I can't do that on zero. So I have to have a profit driven business in order to do those things. So when I walk down the streets, I can hand a person $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to say, hey, go get you some food for the month. And then go get those homeless people and put them up somewhere and say, hey, come tell me your story. I'm gonna pay you $10,000, $20,000 to come speak on this camera just to tell your story, and so we can help you. And so whenever you live life like that, it's a little bit different. So now everybody has a why like that. Theirs is just I got to make it every single day. No, mine is I got to help somebody today. I got to serve somebody today, and God will do the rest because Jesus said Jesus didn't come to be served. Jesus came to serve, right? And so God called us to serve. And so when you focus on serving others and helping other people, that's when life changed. That's why I'm doing this. That's why you're on this podcast right now. This ain't I didn't have to do this for me, right? I did it for you, right? And get your talents out in the world so you can build your portfolio up and for everybody else to see it's possible. And so yeah, it's just a different mindset. It's just a different rap. So most people never hear this side of me because I don't talk to them about this. You did a good job of asking the questions and getting it out of me. But most of the time, I don't talk to people like this because most people's minds can't comprehend the gravity of which I'm talking because you're talking about at a level that most people can't comprehend. The infrastructure and the thinking that goes back into becoming a multimillionaire is high. And so there's a lot of investment. I got to at least invest 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $100,000 if I want to get a mill. I got to invest 10,000 if I want to get 100K, and I already invested 10K, so that ain't a problem. I'm gonna make the 100K. That ain't gonna be a problem. So I'm gonna have to invest the 10K and the 100K to get to the mill. Now I got to invest a mill to get to the 10 mil. Now I got to invest the 10 mil to get to 100 mil. You got to invest 100, 900 mil to get to a mill. And so most people don't think in those terms. And that's why you got to get around the right people. And so the motivation for me is what motivates you. So by me doing this, that motivates you. So I done did my job now. You're going to be ready to get the podcast. You're going to push me to make sure this show goes on. So that's what it's about. Yeah,
Love that answer.
yeah, yeah,
I always love our conversations.
yeah,
I go
yeah,
out of them thinking, I'm just like, my mind just exploded. What? That's always
Here's
what I
why
think
though,
would leave you.
because right here. So one of my strong suits is I'm a coach, so I can give you the playbook and break it down to you. If I'm thinking up here, but I'm just talking up that level, um, just because you asked the questions. And so I know there's some smart people on the camera that want to hear an in-depth conversation. They don't want to hear me talking goofy. But I can be goofy though. But yeah, I read books. I talk. Um, I do a lot of writing. And so whenever you get into the mind frame of these people, right? So Myron Golden was probably my favorite. I probably listen to Myron Golden 20 hours a week. Think and Grow Rich. I read this book 5 times, and then I listened to the audiobook, and then I read this book 5 times. And then I got all these other books, and then I wrote my own book. I gotta get my own plug in there. Just do your job, right? And so there's a lot of different books. Here's a good another book you should get. The Law of Power, 48 Laws of Power. That's good. And then, yeah, I read a bunch of leadership books. So yeah, that's all. It's just what you feed your brain. And so if you feed your brain mush, you're going to get mush. And so knowledge is gold if it's applied correctly. So yeah, that's some game for y'all at home. For all you young 22-year-olds, y'all going to have to digest it. Is that up? Is that it? Is that the show?
That's it. I
That's
think
the show.
so.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to continue this because I know what you're capable. You know what I'm capable of, and I think
Yeah.
together it's going to be something crazy. And I can't
Yeah, and
wait for everybody to see it.
it's just different because it's on the ground floor. So for people, we did a 50-minute podcast, and I didn't even know what the questions was going to be. And
I
so that
know.
tells you, and I killed all your questions in 3 segments.
You did. You
So,
did.
but
Next
there's a
time
lot
I'm going
more
to come
to
back
it. So
stronger.
we can really break down the questions and go into depth. I really didn't go into depth into all these. One, because the government, I don't want them knocking down on my door saying I gave financial advice. Nobody. But it's all educational purposes, just so the government know, so they stay off my back. And for all you trolls at home, chill. But no, this is good. So ask y'all questions. Hey, so this is the episode. I can go back into not being having to answer serious questions mode. This is Mr. Dreams to Reality Coach Ford. Hit Paige up on what's your Instagram page?
Yes, it's at Paige Ames. That's it.
Hit her up, send her your questions. We may not get no questions for the start of this, but send her your questions if y'all catch this. If not, stay tuned. We come with y'all. Record it. We're doing these lives. Then I edit them, and then we'll send them out on the YouTube, and then we'll get it popping. But you got anything to tell the folks at home?
Next time I'm going to hit you harder, so be ready. I'll be more
Yeah,
prepared. I got more questions.
come with it. There's a
People want
lot
to
of topics out
know.
there. Yeah. And there's tons of questions, and really we could expand upon all those other questions, but a little more in depth. But hey, so it's been Mr. Dreams to Reality. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. I should have said at the beginning. Go check out the website. Paige has got an affiliate link. Go buy the shorts and the leggings from her. Help out her commissions check. And until next week. Hey, so don't exit out the app all the way. I'm gonna hit end, but you gotta let the app finish all the way
I'll
through for
just
like
sit
two or
here.
3 minutes. Yeah, all right.
Okay. I'll just sit.